Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Dadman, but you already know that, and today we catch every Pokemon in Pokemon Legends Arceus. In the end, we should end up with a full Pokédex including living specimens of every new form and Pokemon. And since this is the first time a Pokemon game releases as just one version, we won't have the problem of having to get any of the Pokemon from different versions, so that's nice. As with all my challenge runs, I write this script as I play through the game, so this has been written before I start. Go ahead and leave your predictions down below on how long this is gonna take me, and while you're down there, leave a like and subscribe to never miss an upload. With that out of the way, let's go. So we start off apparently talking to Arceus himself for the character picking part, which is a weird way of introducing the game, especially with the almost biblical way Arceus uses Old English here. He also literally tells us to do a catch-em-all, so there's that. We apparently fall out of the sky in Hisui next, and get found by Professor Leventon. He has the starters with him, but they run away, so we give chase. Side note, the text speed is on fast by default. How it took them over 25 years to make that the default for the games is absolutely beyond me. We find the Arc phone on the ground and get a text from Arceus telling us, again, to catch them all. We then find the professor again and he gives us Pokeballs to catch the 3 starters with. The catch mechanics are pretty nice, TBH, and it is actually a lot more fun this way than normally. The professor tells us that we apparently have a talent for catching mons, and that most people in the world were afraid to even get close to a Pokemon, let alone catch it. As if it was still not clear that catching them all was the main objective of the game, the professor himself tells us to complete the first Pokédex of the Hisui region, and we get taken to Jubilant Village. Also, Mount Cornet in the background looks like it has a really weird circular storm over it, looking forward to see what that is about. We meet the medieval version of Dawn in the village, and she talks about how she got hit by a thundershock and that the professor is even worse with Pokemon than her. She also doesn't seem to be very into the idea of the professor asking us for help with the Pokédex. The captain of the Survey Corps, Silene, tells us that if we don't pass the test the next day to join the Corps, we'd be thrown out of the village and left to die. Pretty grim for a Pokemon game, really. Anyway, the next day we get to choose our starter, and we go with the only correct choice, obviously. Also, apparently nicknames aren't a thing or something, but I didn't plan on using nicknames anyway, as with all my first time playthroughs. We go out in the wild to catch a Bidoof, a Starly, and a Shinx for our trial. First we get the Bidoof, get a sneaking tutorial, catch a Starly, and fight a Shinx to catch it. More old school style during a battle. Trial passed, and we have a total of 4 Pokemon now. We get our uniform and meet the commander of the expedition team, Kamado. We then receive the crafting recipe for Pokeballs and a crafting tutorial. This is a really cool system and I like it a lot. We get our Pokedex in book form and get side quests, which are called requests, explained to us. Also, the Pokedex basically has a research point system that makes you carry out specific tasks to research the Pokemon and actively working on completing its entry. This is where we start catching a bit more and getting multiples, seeing as we kinda need to do that for the research points as well. So we add Weasel and Wurmple to the decks and flesh out the entries on the others a bit. Also, you can actually nickname mons, it's just like in Let's Go where you do it in the team menu, that's fine. Next we should just report back to the professor, so I decide to catch some more stuff. So we get Ponyta, and also find a Snorlax at level 45, so we kinda run. We then report back and receive our first star and unlock the internet features. We also battle Akari and her Pikachu and learn about strong style and agile style moves. After changing our outfit a bit, we change up the party to be a little bit more varied and set off to the next task. We catch Kricketot and get the team wiped by Floatzel, but you can actually run around with a team of fainted Pokemon in this game, so that's nice. We also get a Drifloon while not having a party. Then we knock a Burmy out of a tree and catch that, and also catch a Geodude, bringing us to a total of 9. Next we get introduced to what those alpha Pokemon, like the Floatzel and the Snorlax we ran into earlier, are by having to fight an alpha Kricketune. I like that they did play into the Delalev meme here. We get it into red eventually and catch it, that puts us to 10. Also, we set up another base camp at that point and return to the village. There we hear about Cleaver running rampant, and the next morning we're introduced to the leaders of the Diamond and Pearl clans, who for some reason seem to disagree on the almighty Sinnoh, which I assume to be Arceus, and whether he controls space or time, which in fact are Palkia's and Dialga's specialties. So I'm looking forward to see their faces when they realize that. Also, seeing as our Wurmple is at level 9, we can manually evolve it now. Yeah, that doesn't just automatically happen in this game apparently. That adds Cascoon to our collection. We pick up a few more side quests, which I will actually in general not include in the video as that would take too long, and talk to the commander and the clan leaders. They send us out to investigate the Cleaver. We set out from the new camp and catch an Alpha Staravia at level 32, while our Starly also evolves into one, and we also can evolve Cascoon into Dustox. Also, after taking out an Alpha Cricketune, we evolve Cyndaquil into Quilava and Shinx into Luxio. We also catch Zubat, Paras, Bibarel, Baniri, Beautifly, and Psyduck, getting us to a total of 21 Pokemon caught. We then meet Leon, the warden of the forest Cleaver lives in, and have to battle him, so we take out his Goomy with an air cutter and an aerial ace from Staravia. After learning a bit more about Cleaver, we head back to town and get the ability to ride Weirdeer around the region instead of running everywhere. We ride along a bit, catch an Alpha Parasect and Scyther with a Feather Ball. Then it's time for our first boss fight against Cleaver. Before that, we need to take on Iridia though. Her Glaceon one-shots our Geodude that I unfortunately had selected in the hut, which makes it be the lead in battle, and Quilava then takes it out with a strong style Ember, burning it and a Flame Wheel to finish it. So this is basically just dodge and make the mon run into a wall or the giant tree in the middle to stun it, and then throw bombs and battle it to win. After that we get an insect plate from it and it heads off. We find a nice cave and catch a Happiny and a Machop. We also get Golbat and report back to the professor at 26 Pokemon caught. So one little side quest I will include here is one to catch a shiny Ponyta. I love that shiny, so great to see this mission. That's a shiny! Also, after finishing the Cleaver story, we get given an odd keystone by some rando. Apparently, we are supposed to collect spirits with it, so that's your freaking Spiritomb origin story right there. Also, that kinda means we have another collectathon apart from the Pokemon, which is the 108 spirits of Spiritomb. Our next target is something called Ursaluna, which, just by name, I'd assume is either a branched or third evolution of the Teddiursa line. So yay, more new Pokemon. Before we leave, we fight Akari again, who now also has a Mime Jr. The fight is pretty easy though, so no problem here. So we head to the new area, the Crimson Mirelands, and catch Bidoof, Carnivine, Pikachu, a shiny Tangela, shiny Tangela! Nice! A Graveler, Hippopotas, Stunky, Ghastly, Yanma, Croagunk, for which I forgot to start recording again after the shiny, so I just got some footage from second one for some of them for you. And then we catch the Alpha Tangrowth, which is totally overall level. Also, our own Geodude manages to evolve. Lastly, we also get Teddiursa, while totally drawing an Ursaring's attention, and this brings us to 38 caught, and we continue to Ursaluna. This is a more traditional battle, where we actually just take out what seems to be a ground-type bear in a Pokemon battle. We report back to the professor and see an unknown behind us, and we get the task to find all unknown in the region. Another collectathon, which I'm probably not going to do if it is not required for anything. Next up is a frenzied Lilligant, so off towards the next part of the map. We catch Rhyhorn and Haunter and find a Rezu in the wilderness. Then we catch an Onyx, Roselia, Alpha Licky Tongue, Ralts twice so we can get both Evos, and then just get Achillia cause it's there, bring us to 46 Pokemon caught and leading to the next boss battle with Lilligant. So, the Lilligant looks very much not like a normal one, so I'll go ahead and assume this is a hisuian form. It is also a good bit harder to dodge than Cleaver was, but we burn it down with our shiny Ponyta and end up beating it. We then catch Sudowoodo and Murkrow, while also accidentally having Alpha Honchkrow, Roserade, and Bonsly faint. Either way, we return to the village for now. We go around a bit to find lost satchels to earn points for buying evolution items. On the way we catch Petilil, Gumi, evolve Luxio into Luxray, catch an Alpha Hisuian Sliggoo, Golduck, and a Pachirisu, getting us to 54, and next we get to the coastlands. Here we catch Glammeow, Mothim, and Alpha Machoke, Skorupi, Driftblim, Spheal, Apom, Chatot, and Alpha Ambipom. Meet Pelina and her Hisuian Growliths, then catch Stantler, Eevee, Kadabra, and Mr. Mime, putting us to 66, and get told to catch Dusclops for some reason, to get Basculegion for basically Surf. So we catch that, and it's pre-evo Duskull, and actually get the Reaper Cloth to evolve Dusclops from Duskull, but for now we get Basculegion as a ride and catch a Mantike. This brings us to 69. Nice. And then we go back to the village real quick. Here we use the Reaper Cloth on Dusclops to evolve into the Dusknoir, and a Waterstone to evolve Eevee into Vaporeon. Onwards to the volcanic island. On the way we catch Remoraid, evolve a Staravia into Staraptor. We get a Galarian Quilfish, evolve our Quilava into Hisuian Typhlosion, catch Shellos, Hisuian Basculin, Tentacle, and Finion before we arrive at the island. Here we catch Magby and Magmar, getting us to a total of 81, and find the bandits who abducted Growlithe earlier, so we free it by one-shotting their Abomasnow, two-shotting their Toxicroak, and one-shotting their Rhydon and Gengar. We see Growlithe evolve into Arcanine, and have to battle it after it gets hit by lightning. Now, this fight is a little bit bullshit. Phase 1, all well and good, but since it sets the center of the map on fire and then decides to do the move that lets you battle it on the other fucking side of the fire, so you can't fucking get to it, and it just kills you, that's just really bullshit. Also, the dodge roll is a bit dodgy for this fight, specifically for some reason. Anyway, we beat the damn dog and go on with our lives. We catch a Toxicroak, an Alpha Empoleon, and a Celio, and then return to the village for the next objective. We also found a Firestone, so we used that on another Eevee to get Flareon, and evolve Mantike with Remoraid in our party to get Mantike. Also we evolve a female Combee to get Vespiquen, and get an Oval Stone in the MP shop and evolve Happiny into Chansey. That makes 88 Pokemon caught. Our next mission is an Electrode in the Highlands, so yay, more map, more mons. Also apparently we also get introduced to something called Sneasler, which can only be a Hisuian Sneasel Evo. So probably another Rhydmon. So we catch Yanmega, Barboach, Whiscash, an Alpha Crobat, evolve our shiny Ponyta into a shiny Rapidash, which actually has a nicer color in this game than in most of the others, and Celio into Walrein. Then we take out the Warden of the Electrode to be able to get to that boss fight. We also catch Bronzor and Bronzong, Heracross, and Ursaring, and then beat Sneasler's Warden to get use of it for climbing cliffs. Then we catch Chimecho and Alpha Steelix, Gligar, Gibble, Nosepass, and Alpha Electivire. Evolve our Gumi into Hisuian Sliggoo so we can evolve that further, probably in the rain like the regular one eventually. Catch Electabuzz, Elekid, Wormadam, and Misdreavus, getting us to 108, and then we get to the next boss fight. The camera in the Electrode fight is absolute garbage, since you can't see where the heck you're going while trying to see where the Voltorbs and Electro Balls are that will kill you. Boss design is really not the strength of this game. Either way, onwards to the last noble mission. On our way back we catch hisuian Voltorb twice, so we can evolve one into Electrode later, and go back to the village, where we use a shiny stone to evolve Roselia into Roserade and evolve Finian into Luminion. This brings us to 111. Avalok is the last noble, so I guess he also got a hisuian form, and we set out to the next area to catch some more mons before the main mission. Looking at the map, we also have outbreaks unlocked now, which are basically shiny hunting spots, seeing as Pokemon will keep respawning if you keep catching or knocking them out over and over until they run out. More of that on stream eventually if I feel like shiny hunting. Either way, we catch Snorunt twice to get both Evos, Bergamite, Piloswine, Swineup. We find an unknown Y, so that covers unknown. Then we catch Snover, Glalie, so that one Snorunt was for nothing. Evolve Tentacool into Tentacruel, catch an Alpha Frostlass, so never mind evolving any Snowrunts. Evolve Kirlia into Gardevoir, catch Perugly, Riolu, Lucario, Hisuian Sneasel, Rufflet, Chingling, another Hisuian Basculin to evolve later, and another Hisuian Sneasel for the same reason. We also get the ability to fly with Hisuian Braviary now, which is probably one of the coolest features in the game. To get it though, we need to chase this girl down and go through the temple on the top of the mountain. Then beat her Electivire, Magmortar and Rhyperior in a 3-on-1 match, cause fair battles haven't been invented yet. Also, we have to beat Braviary itself, then our Hippopotas evolves into Hippowdon, bringing our total to 128, off to the final Noble battle. Now, the Avalok is gigantic, and halfway through, it just starts cheating. This is like Binding of Isaac levels of bullet hell and nigh unavoidable damage. Good thing though, the fighting made Basculin evolve, since apparently it needs to take recoil damage to evolve, so there's that. So we load up on water types since the Avalok is a ground type, and one-shot it with my Empoleon from earlier while learning the patterns. With that done, it would seem we finished the story for the most part at currently 20 hours of playtime. Back at the village, we evolve our second Kirlia into Gallade, so that's 130 before we go report to the commander. The next day, the sky turned weird and the space-time rift over Mount Coronet became larger. So the Galaxy Geezer decides that we are the reason behind that and throws us out of the village. You what, mate? So I guess let's find the last few species we haven't gotten yet if we're already not gonna go back for a while. So we evolve Gible into Gabite, catch Magikarp, evolve Remoraid into Octillery, catch the Alpha Snorlax from the start of the video, get Abra, Gyarados, a random shiny Luxio, shiny! Level 17, I'm gonna kill it. Boom! Yes! Shiny Luxio! Gastrodon, Mime Jr., an Alpha Infernape, and Chimchar, before getting taken in by the merchants and told that we need to seek out the lake spirits. We then also get to choose one of the clan leaders, Iridia or Adaman, to help us on the way. I decide that's the only correct way. Hey Google, flip a coin.
You got heads.
Well, that's Iridium. So, before we actually do the trials though, let's do some more catching and evolving. We still have a good bit of that to do, and we might as well now that we can access all areas of the map. So we catch an Alpha Raichu, evolve a Wurmple into Silcoon to finish that line, and evolve Rufflet into Hisuian Braviary. Then we catch Heracross, a Magnezone somewhere in the sky, and Alpha Ninetales, plus another Hisuian Quilfish for the evolution. That's all I could find for now, so unless we run into something randomly, we'll just clean up after we're through with the story. So off to the first lake. Lake Verity and Mesprit are first, so we meet an Alpha Hisuian Gudra in the cave in the lake's center. We catch that, so we can totally skip evolving our own Sliggoo, so that's nice. Mesprit appears, we get a plume from it, and go on to the next lake. On the way, we catch a Vulpix real quick, and also Stantler evolves into Weirdeer. Lake Acuity and Uxie are next, and we have to fight Hisuian Zoroark here. We catch that and evolve the Chimchar from earlier to Monferno, getting us to 150 Pokemon caught. Uxie asks us to name the amount of eyes on a couple of Pokemon, so we answered that easily and get Uxie's Claw. The last lake is Lake Valor, and we catch a Groddle on the way. I forgot to hit record again though, so there's that. We also get a Togepi and a Togetic in the sky. Then it's time for Azelf's Trial. Overquill is the alpha here, which is cool cause I was just trying to evolve my Alpha Hisuian Quilfish into one, so we can skip that and just catch this. Never mind. So we just show Azelf that we're stubborn AF and then get its Fang. With all of that done, we get the red chain and get told that the Galaxy Geezer went to investigate the rift himself. We also get re-added to the Galaxy team and finally can report all the new stuff, earning us the 6th star and the Ultra Ball recipe. We then get a bit of evolving done, with Hisuian Lilligant from a Petalil with a Sunstone, Graveler into Golem with a Link Cable. We then have to search a bunch more satchels to get more Link Cables for Alakazam and Gengar later, and probably a bunch of other evolution items that I just won't end up finding in a while. Either way, off to the final part of the map, presumably at Mount Cornet. We find the guy who runs the restaurant in town in the cave up to Mount Cornet, and he turns out to be a ninja who wants to take us out for the geezer. So, battle time. I did not expect a trainer battle since this game literally didn't have anything worth carrying out an actual competent team for at any point so far. So we go back and get an actually usable team from the boxes. He leads with Mismagius, I lead with an Alpha Raichu. Strong Style Volt Tackle one-shot Sneasel next, and 2 quick attacks take out our remaining health. We send out Hisuian Zoroark and take him out with a Bitter Malice and a Shadow Claw. Both in Strong Style, cause I have no reason to not use the slightly more damaging variant. Gardevoir comes out and I go into Typhlosion. Hex takes him to red and he max potions. I Flamethrower instead and burn, but 2 Psychics take Typhlosion down. Hisuian Quilfish is out, and Strong Style Barb Barrage for the evolution condition takes out Gardevoir. And then Gallade is last. Another Barb Barrage takes it to half, and we get Drain Punched off the field. I go to Frostlass, and Blizzard in Strong Style for more accuracy finishes him off. I decide to keep this team for now, in case of more fights, and continue upwards. The Galaxy Geezer is standing in front of Arceus Temple on top, still doubting us, and, oh surprise, battles us. Cause this is apparently the part of the game where we actually battle. He leads with Hisuian Braviary, I lead with Hisuian Quilfish. I will refrain from calling every strong style I use from now on, since I always do. So Barb Barrage takes him to half and poisons. 2 quick attacks and a potion later, another Barb Barrage almost kills, since it's basically Vanish Shock, and we both go down as he attacks for the kill and dies to poison. I blind into Steelix cause it won't tell me what he's sending out. He sends out Golem, so I Agile Style Horsepower to get the second turn, and Strong Style takes him out. Snorlax is next, and I basically get hit with that exact same combo back, killing Steelix. I send out Frostlass next, as Ghost is immune to normal, and Typhlosion would just die to high horsepower, so 2 Strong Style Blizzards take Snorlax to low, and give it Frostbite, which is basically burn in cold in this game. So he attacks twice, but dies to Frostbite. Clefairy is last, and Blizzard actually misses for once, so we get taken out. I go to Typhlosion, and Strong Style Flamethrower burns the Clefairy. It hits me twice, and I should really have hexed here for the kill, but instead I hit another Flamethrower, leaving it in red, and with a Draining Kiss it saves itself and Typhlosion faints. I go to Raichu, and an Agile Style Thunderbolt ends the battle. Kamado kneels before us like the peasant he is, and we get to the temple to save the region. Here we see a row of statues showing hisuian forms and hisuian evolutions. Even if it took me a while to see that this is supposed to be the electrode. Either way, Palkia appears and breaks our red chain, throwing us directly into a fight with it, resulting in us catching it. Dialga descends from above, and we run back to the camp. After the Primal Grotto to get an ingredient for a recipe, on the way we catch Rhydon and an Alpha Probopass, get the ore, catch a Rotom, and return to the village. After putting everything together, we get the Origin Ball. Looks like a more edgy Cherish Ball really. I'll assume it's gonna be a single-use Master Ball type of thing. That can only be used on Dialga, so we get Palkia and set out back up to the temple to catch Dialga. And with that, we see how the ruins from Diamond and Pearl came to be ruins. Also, holy crap, is that an Arceus form of Dialga? What the hell? So we battle it noble style and catch it in the bowl. And with that, roll credits. Not that we would be done by any means though, so we still have a bunch more stuff to catch and evolve. So with both Palkia and Dialga with us, we get going with the rest of the decks. First I ran to the professor actually just wanting to report back the dex entries, but he ended up giving me the other two starters instead, so we can go evolve those to the hisuian form final evos as well. Also Volo tells us about Arceus and that we need the remaining plates to find him. And there is a pretty funny twitch in his foot in this cutscene. We go ahead and meet him at a random place at the edge of the map, fight an Alpha Vespiquen and get a stone plate. Yeah, accurate reaction. Then I go ahead and try to get the Wisps, as we'll need that for catching Spiritomb later. However, having collected a bunch along the way, it's incredibly fucking hard to find out which ones I haven't found yet, without literally revisiting all locations, which I did, and I'm still fucking missing one! Anyway, so we'll put that off to later, and along the way I catch Alpha Lopunny, Sylveon, more Eevees, for evolution later, evolve Quilfish into Overquill, catch an Alpha Drapion, hisuian Growlithe, twice so we can evolve one, Pichu, evolve Eevee into Jolteon, and hisuian Growlithe into hisuian Arcanine. Also we catch Cherubi. Then we get the info on the other plates and set out to collect them. Along the way we evolve hisuian Voltorb into hisuian Electrode, catch Blissey, evolve Groudon into Torterra, catch Mamoswine, hisuian Evolug, Machamp, Uxie, Aself, Mesprit, evolve Scyther into Cleavor with a Black Argyrite that a Graveler dropped, evolve Rowlet into Dartrix, Oshawott into Dewott, Dartrix into hisuian Decidueye, Dewott into hisuian Samurott, Kadabra into Alakazam with a Link Cable, Cherubi into Cherim, catch Heatran, Cresselia, evolve Gligar into Gliscor with a Razorfang at night, Eevee into Umbreon at night, catch Regigigas, evolve Rhydon into Rapirio with a Protector, Misdreavus into Mismagius with a Duskstone, hisuian Sneasel into Sneasler with a Razor Claw during the day, catch Turtwig, Clefairy, evolve Togetic into Togekiss with a Shiny Stone, catch Cleffa, Clefable, evolve Eevee into Leafeon near the Mossy Rock, catch hisuian Soria, and evolve another Eevee into Glaceon near the Icy Rock. Then we evolve Murkrow into Honchkrow with a Duskstone, Haunter into Gengar with a Link Cable, Snover into Abomasnow, and Gabite into Garchomp. Finally we get Ursaring to evolve into Ursaluna with a Peat Block, whatever that is, while it's a full moon in-game. That is a total of 214 mons caught, and a full living dex of all new Pokemon and hisuian forms I have seen so far. Unless there is something else hidden in the post-game, but we'll see about that after we meet Vol at the temple. So he turns out to basically want to straight up delete this world and create a new one using Arceus, which is why he wants the plates we have been collecting. Battle time. Volo leads with Spiritomb, I lead with Empoleon. I Hydro Pump him to yellow, he full restores, and Hypnosis makes me drowsy. This wastes one of my turns, and Shadow Ball hits for half, another Hydro Pump kills. Shadow Ball takes out Empoleon, Raichu is out, and Thunderbolt finishes Spiritomb. Garchomp comes out and gets to Earth Power us off the field. I send out Palkia and Spatial Rend, leaving him on 1 somehow, and he crits us off the field with Dragon Claw. Dialga is next, and Iron Tail gets Guard Jump off the field. Lucario is out and attacks with close combat, but feints to an Earth Power. Hisuian Arcanine takes out Dialga, and I go to Cresselia, one-shotting with Psychic. Roserade comes out and runs into a Psychic as well. Togekiss is last. He Moonblasts us, but Cresselia is pretty defensive, so it doesn't do much, and we can revive Dialga and Raichu before Cresselia goes down. Dialga Iron Tails Togekiss to red and dies again to Moonblast, before Raichu takes the W with a Volt Tackle. Giratina appears, and apparently they expect you to win this without healing your team first, cause Typhlosion and half that Raichu is all I have. This is legit dumb, as the Volo fight was easily the only real hard fight up until now, seeing as he basically has Cynthia's team from the mainline Sinnoh games after all. So defeating a legendary right afterwards is a pretty ridiculous idea. Also ridiculous is how you just heal back to full and can get right back to it as soon as you lose. Like, just heal me back to full before the fight to begin with. It's not the only time that would happen in this game. Wait, you have to do it right after each other? Now that is bad game design. No, seriously, you'd have to have a completely overleveled team to get anywhere here. This is just straight dumb. This has nothing to do with difficulty, this is just stupid. The fighting system in this game is basically one shot or get one shot, and the fucking styles do nothing to add to the experience at all. Since they hardly work the way they're supposed to, fuck that, you can't defend this shit. Also, just saying, there is no fucking way of efficiently grinding in this game either, cause there are no fucking trainers. Also, after a few hours of working on my Pokemon stats with grid items, which I literally didn't have to touch up until now, we get through to the Giratina with Cresselia at full and half health Dialga and actually kill it. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you trying to tell me I have to fucking beat this thing twice in a row after beating Volo already without any chance of healing my team in a game that literally has your enemy switch into a type advantage and one-shot you after every kill? Who the fuck designed this and why do they still have a job? This is pure ass. So with the game having thoroughly ruined my fun and the entire experience of the game for me, no cap, I go catch a metric fuckton of mons to get even more grid items and max out my team to the absolute maximum. On the way, we catch another Eevee, a non-Hisuian Sneasel in a Distortion, so we can get Weavile with a Razor Claw at night, and Espeon during the day. Also, this happens. What the fuck? We also find a Magmarizer and evolve Magma into Magmortar, and buy a Metal Coat to evolve Scyther into Scizor. Then we find a monkey stuck in a tree, and a shiny Rhyhorn. Shiny. Shiny Rhyhorn. Okay. Ball? Nice. Also, we catch Bastiodon and a Porygon in a Distortion, and evolve Porygon into Porygon 2 with an upgrade, and into Porygon C with a Dubious Disc. We also do a side mission searching for Alolan Vulpix in the snow, and get one of them for our troubles, evolving it into an Alolan Ninetales with an Ice Stone afterwards. Not really a separate catch, but hey, might as well get the forms done as well if we already have to spend a ton of time grinding grid items. So literally 10 hours of gameplay after the first attempt, we go back to Volo and Giratina with our team maxed out and a few levels over his. And suddenly we steamroll him. As I said, this isn't difficult. This is just a random check for an overpowered team. Cresselia takes care of Giratina's first form and avoids 2 Shadow Forces, then Luna Blessing and a bunch more Moonblasts take care of the second form. At this point, we get the final plate from Volo, and our Celestic Flute turns into the Azure Flute, the event item that never got released in Diamond and Pearl, which gives you the ability to catch Arceus. So I guess Arceus and Giratina are next on our hit list? Or not, because apparently Arceus is last on the list as expected, since he didn't show up and instead repeated the Seek Out All Pokemon text. Anyway, Giratina. We go into Turnpike Cave, and an Agile-style Roar of Time takes it to red, and 2 Ultra Balls later, we have it caught. So, cleanup time on the Pokedex. We catch Piplup and evolve it into Prinplup, finishing that line. Also, we get Magnemite in a Distortion and evolve it into Magneton. Get Bonsly after switching between the areas it can spawn in to reset them for half an eternity. Munchlax after searching for one to actually spawn for a bit. Then I try finding the remaining Wisps to get Spiritomb, which is probably the most annoying collectathon of the game, seeing as the Wisps are practically invisible during the day cause their draw distance is literally 2 centimeters a day. Here I want to say thank you to Tony Strongstyle for his great video on where to find all the Wisps, cause apart from the ones in the village, I was missing 1 or 2 in every map, so this helped a lot with revisiting locations. A lot more than Cerebee's map of the locations, cause I sure as fuck still missed the Wisp I was missing on 2 separate attempts for following the markings on the map in Obsidian Fieldlands. Either way, after collecting 107 Wisps, we get back to the girl who asked us to collect them, and she turns into the 108th Wisp, and Spiritomb spawns behind us, so we catch that. Afterwards, we start a side quest for Manaphy and Fion, and after a short little puzzle that actually has its solution hidden in a book in BDSP, which is a pretty nice idea, we catch Fion and Manaphy. Also, since I have save data of all other Switch Pokemon games on my Switch, we also go ahead and do the Darkrai and Shaman events and catch those 2. Then we go ahead and catch Landorus, and then wait for half an eternity for a rainstorm in the coastlands to get Thunderous, and another half eternity for a snowstorm in the Icelands, for tornadoes to spawn, and get that. Then we go ahead and fill their Pokedex entries out, since Cynthia's grandma wanted to see the full entries. As we show it to her, she calls for a 4th Djinn called Enamorous. Well, there is your surprise new legendary, so we also catch that. Just saying though, the chasing down the Djinns is one of the least fun hunts in the game, since they just run away if they see you, and you have to hit them 3 times to get them to battle you. So yeah, this is tedious. Either way, that leaves Shieldon and the Craniatus line from the Distortions in the Highlands, so we wait another eternity for one to spawn. We do get Craniatus and Rampardos, but Shieldon never spawns, so 1 more round. The next one didn't have Shieldon either. Neither did the 3rd. Cerebee says it has like a 0.26% chance of spawning. That is the most ass spawn rate I've ever seen in a Pokemon game, just saying. All in all, it took 5 Distortions to finally get Shieldon. Can I just say, waiting for those fucking Distortions is the most boring part of this game, by far. Anyway, with every Pokemon except for Arceus caught, let's go fight Arceus and catch it for the finale. So we head to the temple, play the Azure Flute, and a literal stairway to heaven appears. Up on the platform at the end, we fight Arceus as the final boss. Now, as much as this is actually a pretty well-designed fight, with audio cues for attacks and really nice visuals and cool attacks, it really doesn't help in dodging effectively when the game lags like shit. I was originally gonna bring this up at the Avalok boss already, but here it is really annoying. And honestly, thank you Game Freak for including a button that keeps at least part of the progress you made on this health bar if you die, otherwise this would have been frustrating as fuck. I mean, you will literally die here multiple times, not only to learn the attacks, but also due to a dodge roll input being early or late thanks to the lag. Either way, as you defeat Arceus, he will give you a part of him, and that is literally an Arceus that just spawns in your box. Or I guess in your party if you don't have 6 Pokemon. No catching to do here, but yeah, that means we have officially caught them all, and while doing so, also got a full living dex of the new Hisui exclusive and wards. All in all, that took me 60.5 hours, with about 20 of those being the grid grind and waiting for distortions to spawn. The game is a lot of fun in the main story, and I would definitely like to see more games in this style for other regions. Not necessarily time travel stuff again, but definitely more of this gameplay style. The battle system could use some improvements, as the fact that you sometimes can't react to stuff because the enemy gets 3 turns in a row, or the fact you can just have them go to a type advantage mon after another feigns and one-shot you for free is not exactly fair or balanced. I wouldn't mind the old turn style to return, honestly, and have this semi-turn based thing from this game just left behind. Also, the next game should probably not lag in boss fights, just saying. All in all, this ranks pretty high on my personal tier list of Pokemon games though, ahead of a lot of mainline games, really. So if you enjoyed this video and want to see more Pokemon content from me, be sure to subscribe and activate the notification bell to never miss an upload. I have a lot of Pokemon challenge runs up on this channel, playlist linked in the description, as well as Nuzlocke, which I stream over in Twitch and then upload here in an edited down format. Also, check out my Gaming Abridged series and challenge runs of other games. All of that is, of course, also linked in the description. I will see you in the next video, so until then, my name is WW Dadman.